Hello my soul family, welcome to the spirituality retreat and spiritual talk provided by my health and wellness brand, Body, Mind and Spirit. My name is Christy Ramirez and I'm your health and wellness expert. So welcome to this new moon in Taurus of this year of 2021. It's a beautiful royal gold energy that I'm feeling for attracting more abundance, more positivity and more joy. So this is a very great day today to have this event, because I am feeling the culmination of what is about to happen. I am filming this the day after the new moon, which was on May 11th of 2021. And I'm feeling like this is these new steps that we're taking for this new beginning. That's gonna give us ultimate, more emotional fulfillment, the ultimate emotional fulfillment. And this can be applied in all areas of our life. And in fact, I think all of these areas are intertwining together because they all wanna come into this balance. They all want to meet on the same heart space, because if one area of your life is out of alignment, the other one is also going to suffer. So if you're not in the right career or you're not in the right relationship, the other areas of your life are going to suffer, even your health, because that's another area of your life. So we really need to take into consideration and reflect deeply on what it is that we truly desire and not hold back. Don't settle if you're not there yet, or you don't have what you ultimately desire. Because by settling in the moment for something that's iffy, okay, but not great, then guess what? You're gonna miss out on the greatness. Because there's gonna be closed doors in your life, no more extra space for that new thing, that new relationship, that new career, that new passion, that new hobby, whatever it is. You're gonna be blocking it by yourself. So you really need to be honest with yourself during these times and remember that these new changes, this new route, this change in direction that we've been guided towards takes time. Taurus rules slow and steady. And the very interesting thing that I want to point out as well, we just came off a full moon in Scorpio, and Scorpio is the opposite zodiac of Taurus. So they can either complement each other, or they can just be complete polar opposites that they don't understand each other. And to be able to gracefully flow into this new beginning, it's important that we understand the qualities of both signs, because they're both meeting at the center. It's like Scorpio rules passion. Scorpio rules, in a sense, being too quick, right? Because it rules the rebirth. It rules sexuality as well, which can be hand in hand with impulsivity, because you're leading through your, if you want to say, your sexual organs, your sexuality, and you're not thinking straight with your head or your heart space, which is what Taurus rules more than anything. Taurus is a sign ruled by Venus. Venus is the planet of love, beauty, and harmony. Even our creative projects it rules. So I'm feeling like a lot of us collectively, with this full moon in Scorpio that we just all stepped out of, it's brought to light where we have been impulsive in the past, or maybe in the immediate past, and maybe even in the present moment, and how this can affect your future. Because the right way to do things is always with patience, with temperance. That's always how great things come about. Nothing great was built overnight, and nothing great was ever taken with impulsivity. You need to make wise decisions on your journey, and this is what the Taurus energy teaches us today, is that it's about being really meticulous with the strategy, not jumping straight into it, but going easing into it, slow and steady. It's also about bringing in the beauty and the creativity to it, the artisticness, even the femininity to it, because Taurus is a feminine energy and Scorpio is more of a masculine energy. And the Scorpio energy, like I said last time in last full moon's spiritual talk, is a very intuitive sign. A lot of our spiritual eye has been heightened during these times, and And now the Taurus energy is about making something out of it. It's about now grounding it and bringing it into manifestation, anchoring. Because Taurus energy, Taurus is an earth element. It's an earth sign. And if you think about it, Scorpio is a water sign. So it was very emotional. Deep into the subconscious emotions can really take someone off their path. Not because they want to, but just because your emotions are getting the best of them. And this can take away from your energy, from your passion, your motivation, your drive. And this is where Scorpio energy can feel a little unstable sometimes in their emotions, and that's why it affects other areas of their life. And then so the Taurus energy that we're entering today is teaching us to be more grounded and stable with our emotions, even in mental state as well, in your mental space. And your sacred space is what's going to keep you grounded during these times. We've been mentioning this quite some times, but it's true, because it's very interesting as well that even trust issues are coming up. Scorpios, I've known a lot of Scorpios in my life. I'm actually always attract Scorpios for some reason. So I know a lot to kind of come to a conclusion as to how the Scorpio person is, both the male and female, because I've met of both genders throughout my life. And it's very interesting because that's actually one of the most signs that I've had friends and acquaintances with, but mostly actual close friends and even family members. And what I noticed is that because Scorpios are so highly intuitive, and they can even read people very clearly, but sometimes if they're out of alignment, they can also misread people. And this is what creates trust issues. Or if they've been hurt, even if it's just once, by one person, trust me that they'll never give them the time of day again. Or if they just had a traumatic experience with someone, with a relationship or someone from their past or in childhood, trust me that they're going to grow up with these issues and have a hard time trusting people in their physical realm, in their present life. And the Taurus energy similarly, I want to say is interesting because I've met a lot of Tauruses in my life as well, and I'm a Taurus as well, but there's half and half when it comes to the Taurus energy, because I've seen people who are at the spectrum, and we always know that depending on the date that you were born within that sign, it depends on the degree as to how much of that sign you are as well. And I'm feeling like, because Scorpio is the opposite energy, I do feel like there's a little bit of spillover that happens with the signs, the opposite of each sign in the zodiac. Because remember, the zodiac is a big wheel, and these big wheels, they interact in different angles, especially at the complete opposite, which is the complete 180 degrees. And so I feel like half of the collective right now has trust issues, but then the other half are the ones that have no trust issues. Like, they're quick to forgive, which is a great quality, but they're also quick to trust without the necessary, I guess, requirement, you can say, or without really seeing the person clearly, and that's why they get hurt so much, right? So there's a difference between being trusting and being naive. You can be trusting, which is what our goal is as a healthy soul, is to be trusting, and until someone proves you wrong, that's when you not trust. But it's also about not being naive, right? If you get red flags or there's warning signs, why put all of it on the table when you still feel in your intuition that something's not right, right? And so this is where we really need to listen to, and this can be applied to anything in life again. I'm thinking, like, I was actually thinking of like the poker game, for example, or like if you're playing a chess game, which is all requires strategy. If you know that there's something off, or you have just this hint of a feeling in your gut, in your heart, in your soul, that maybe that's not the right move to make, or maybe that other person is hiding something, and maybe they have the winner's card per se, and you're putting all your money on the table when you know that there might be a chance that you can lose it all, right? And that's how many people do lose it all over gambling, which is why it's not a sport that I recommend. Even though it's not a sport, it's just more like a game, because that's a lot of reckless impulsivity, right? And that's where I'm going at right now, and that's where my therapy sessions come in. My spiritual counseling TV network, it's about making wise decisions, especially if you've already been more than experienced, and especially if you had bad experiences in the past. This is why having negative experiences per se in each person's individual life is not a bad thing, because it only makes us wiser. But the secret here is that if you fall into the same trap, that just means that you haven't learned your lesson. And that's when that past lesson became a waste of time, because it didn't save you from future mistakes. And that's where people keep repeating karmic cycles, hence the karmic wheel. And that's what needs to be broken out of. The full moon in Scorpio was a completion of a cycle. And this also applies to negative patterns or irresponsible patterns. And, this is very uncommon right now of what we're talking about, because, usually we talk more about the chakras, but this is what the theme is today. Because this has a lot to do with heart chakra, the relationships. And just remember, our career, our passions are also a relationship. I like to categorize it in that way, because that's something that we can be very passionate about. There's a group of people right now among light workers who are unattached from any romantic relationship, single completely, not dating, because they're all immersed into their mission. And that's me. That's the category that I'm at. So I am lucky that I can see very objectively as to what's happening in other people's life who might be clouded by the people they surround themselves with, whether they be a close circle in friendships, which I do not think that's the case right now, because I feel like a lot of us worldwide have pretty much been cleared up of who is to be in our close circle and not. I feel like now the issue is just more when it comes to romance. There's been a lot of romantic energy coming up in our daily morning spiritual guidance. For those who are single, like myself included, there's new love about to come in, because we've been waiting patiently, alone, and doing our work and not getting distracted from the mission. And for those who perhaps did get a little distracted, you're being called to wake up, to get back on track and not get distracted from your life's mission, your purpose, which is individual and most likely is not in line with whatever person is by your side. And if that is the case, it's very rare, because the only exception to that rule would be relationships who have been in union for quite some time, even 10 plus years. And I can say this from experience, because I attended a family wedding just about a week ago. And trust me that I am a very great observer. And this couple that was about to get married, it wasn't like they just met this year even, especially during the most darkest year that we've experienced worldwide in the year 2020, right? They met each other 10 plus years ago, and they've always been in union. They never broke up. That's the thing. The only unions that can survive are those who have always been together. Those unions, and I've said this way a lot of times, those unions who break off and then come back together, that's not going to work. Because when you know you found that one person, there's just no leaving that person, right? And even if life circumstances break you apart due to distance or whatever the case may be, after you've been in a relationship, then that's just destiny trying to tell you that perhaps there's a better way for you. But if you meet that person and that person is perhaps not in your local environment, that's a completely different story. Because that's where the true love, the soulmate, spiritual energy comes in. That you feel them even though they're miles and miles away. That's a different story. So if you're interested more about this love journey, and maybe you're resonating because you're feeling this deep in your heart, watch my love show. It's a free show. I made it free because I know that this is a very important topic that everybody should know about and everybody would love to experience. But I'm feeling like with this new one in Taurus, it's all about love. Love is literally in the air. Not even February like it was in Valentine's. That was kind of like premature love in the air. It was maybe the awakening in spirit that yes, this is the person I want to be with, or this is the kind of person that I want to be with if you haven't met that person. But now with Taurus ruled by Venus, which is the ultimate planet ruled by Venus, the planet of love. And there's two signs ruled by Venus, but Taurus is the stronger one. The other sign is Libra, but Taurus is just more ruled and dominated by Venus, you can say, the love planet. And this is why there's a lot of Tauruses out there who are like hopeless romantics, which can be, it's a great thing, but they get hurt the most. So this is bringing a lot of heartbreaks from past relationships, or just a lot of heartache if you're alone. Maybe because there's this empty space that I mentioned in this month's love show. If you are very ruled by Venus and you have a lot of Taurus in your chart, chances are, because remember that everybody has a birth natal chart and you're composed of different signs. It's not just because your sun sign is just your only sign. And that's where it gets a little more complicated, right? And that's where I can help you with that, because I have been doing research. But of course, you can learn more about that by looking up your natal chart and then seeing which signs make up the most of you. And especially when it comes to love, which would be your moon sign, and then your sun sign, which is your true core self, your higher self within your true soul, more than your rising sign. That's just like what more like you portray in the world, like the mask that you wear or how even people see you. But your actual sun sign is at the core of who you really are deep down, which actually people can sometimes use their rising sign, their mask, to hide who they really are inside, their sun sign. But the sun sign is always going to be prominent in that person's character and personality. And so this is bringing up a lot of need for romance. And this is, believe it or not, a physical need that we all need, which is ruled by the root chakra. You know, I've been channeling a lot of red as well. Needed to feel secure, but secure emotionally in our heart space. Not jumping around relationships, not being even sure that we can trust the person we're with, because that doesn't provide security, right? And you know, whatever it is that you're doing in life, as a light worker, as a person with a mission, with a purpose, chances are that you want to do great things in this life, big dreams. And this big dreams requires that you have stable people around you, stable relationships, a stable soul tribe. And this is what we're all discovering during these times, and what we're all encountering for the first or second time, because there's a lot of second chances opening up as well. And these second chances are going to bloom in a completely different direction. And maybe you could have gotten glimpses of this in the past, but you probably didn't believe they could be possible. But remember that everything once possible was once considered impossible. And that's a classic saying: don't ever limit yourself. Keep believing in these big dreams. Keep believing that you're yet to reach your highest potential. All of us as a collective, as a human species. There's so much more to learn, so much more to experience. And this is where we really need to keep an open heart, an open mind, an open soul for all this newness that wants to come in, all the blessings that God wants to bestow upon our life. But we need to be healed. This is a secret. And this is where all my resources come in. A new Utamic soul coaching program, my future book that I am in the works of to teach you about all the chakras and how you can heal on yourself, how you can heal yourself from the inside out. And that's a very powerful book that's very special to me, that I can't wait to finish and complete already so I can have it published, because I feel like it's a very important piece of knowledge right now that people can definitely benefit from. And so I feel like we should get to a reading now. As usual, this is what I bring into the spiritual talks, because I feel like we can continue to delve deeper into this discussion today, how we began this theme with this intuitive message. And I feel like there's more to introspect towards. So give me one moment and I'm going to lay out all my oracle cards, see what wants to come through, see what more divine messages want to come through for this new moon cycle. Okay everyone, so I'm going to begin with my chakra cards, and at the bottom we have again the confirmation of divine service. This is what's going to help us during this new moon in Taurus. The divine light and emanating love of the divine rises within you now, and you are a glowing beacon of hope for others. This is about being that light, being that inspiration that you seek in your life. Don't wait for it, be it. Focus your attention and intention on being of spiritual service to others. Ask those around you how they are doing, and listen closely and compassionately to the response. So this is about providing counsel to those who are in need. If you have soul gifts that you are aware of in this lifetime, use them consciously to assist others as you are being called. Make time to be of service to the divine. And that's separate, that's different for everybody. The soul star chakras is being activated, which comes after the crown chakra. This is about discovering our true higher self, who we really are within, and what we really want out of life, out of love. You can work with the crystal morganite during these times, and the herb, the white lotus. I love the lotus tea leaves because these really help to activate our intuition, our spiritual eye. And yes, this is what I was getting. The next set of cards that I'm bringing out is the Akashic Record cards, because there's a lot of soul memory being activated. Find the balance and beauty in being present while drinking from the wisdom of the past. Again, this is about past lessons that you've learned. Make sure that you've learned them, because if not, the universe, God, which is God is the universe, is going to keep presenting to you these same lessons in different forms with different faces, and you don't want to re-experience all of that pain, right? So make sure that you've learned the lesson and can see it clearly early on, before you get involved, before you get enmeshed, tangled even, before you become the victim of that situation. There's a lot of cord cutting that needs to be done, which should have been done by the full moon in Scorpio, which full moons are all about releasing. With this new one in Taurus, we're focused more about setting our intentions, about what kind of life we want to live, our goals, our dreams, and how to make it happen. Those action steps that need to be taken consistently as well, diligently, day by day, morning, afternoon, and night. This is not just that you can just not do it one day and then get back to it the next day. This is a continuous thing. This is a lifestyle. And lifestyle changes can be very difficult, but it's going to make all the difference in the quality of your life. It's going to be a turning point. There is gold to be mined from what no longer is, and precious nuggets to be tilled from what is hidden. So maybe you've been putting work, focus elsewhere. Maybe a project, and maybe it hasn't reaped the rewards that you expected. But God is telling us that it will be presented to you, and now it's time to work on those other projects that perhaps are more buried within your heart. This is like the classic, how people turn their hobby into their job, right? Because maybe that job that you were in is not really fulfilling you 100%, maybe just like 80%. But you need to be in something that fulfills you at 100%. Because guess what? Life's too short. We've all learned our lesson, right? We've all learned to appreciate every moment. And that's what 2020 has taught us. So there's no going back, and there's no excuses why you can't live your dreams now. So join into the deep, travel for a while back in time to receive the lessons still active for you. The greatest gifts await you when you give yourself permission to go back and within to retrieve them, of course responsibly, and now with a more wise eye. Not getting yourself enmeshed per se, but seeing from an outside perspective while still being in there, right? So you cannot live in your memory, obviously, but it is good and advised to visit, just to reflect and make sure that perhaps you're not missing anything in the present moment. This is the Earth Star chakra. This is also activating perhaps ancestral lineages, connections. Maybe this is past life relationships that we're also encountering. Maybe we've known these people in a while, in a past life, should I say, or maybe it's a partner that you've known or even been with in a past life. And that's what creates this sense of familiarity, comfort even, and easiness in having a relationship, a soulmate kind of relationship. The crystal that we can work with during these times is the black kyanite and the herb myrrh resin. You can also get that in essential oil form. And that's it for these chakra healing decks. Let's get a little bit more crystal power to give us more divine messages about this energy and these times that we're in. It's very confusing for many people. You know, I was actually having conversations with people that I usually, I only see a couple times a year, but everyone doesn't think like me per se, or everyone is not as enlightened or illuminated about what really is going on. And a lot of people are lost and don't know what's happening, and they're scared. So I feel like everything that I teach did provide that person comfort, and knowing that, you know what, God is taking care of us, and it's all for a divine reason, and perhaps even for the best. We have the Page of Cups. Yes, this is about filling our cup back up. The affirmation here is, I am as young as I choose to feel. This is about recaptivating our youthfulness, taking back control of our health and wellness, of what we truly love to do, because it makes us feel young. It gives us more vitality. There's no more excuses why you can't do what you love. Work with the angel aura cords. I actually have that crystal. And this is our angels surrounding us and helping us in the physical realm to achieve this vitality. Because guess what? The healthiest people right now are actually those that have actual physical fitness, like they are in good health shape, because they have more rejuvenative abilities within their body. Their body is very healthy and strong. That's what we all need to work on, our strength during these times, physically, because that affects our emotional, mental, and spiritual body. So that's something to think of today. And make sure that you don't let your emotions get in the way. Let's get a little bit of some Osho Zen messages, because I feel like, you know, I haven't done a Buddha talk in a while, which is a special class that I do in my School of Life. You want to become a member year-round. There's educational content there. There's different series that you can begin at your own time. And I've done one episode so far for the Spiritual Gatherings Buddha Talk, but I have to catch up on my studying as well, because there's been so many changes. I've been building and constructing a lot in my house, like interior design, doing things on my own that usually would get someone else to pay for, right? Like, for example, painting, furniture and stuff, things that were something that I never really thought I would do, but it's actually fun and therapeutic for me to do this arts and crafts kind of thing. So I've been needing to catch up on my solo study per se, because I usually do those study nights in the nights, right? And that's where I get my curriculum as to what I'm going to teach in those courses. And so that's what I need to get back at. But yeah, oh my god, we got the laziness card, or slothfulness, right? This is something that we all need to conquer. Not resting too much and needing to kind of get back to work. For anybody who is off track, or maybe you've just been feeling fatigued, so there's a needing to do a rebalance in our schedules so that we can experience more vitality. And part of this, where a lot of people are falling off track as well, laziness to even get on mission, because the whole purpose of the mission, this is, I feel like, one half of the collective, the people who are just sitting back and not doing anything, taking this time as like a time off. A lot of people who've lost jobs or even businesses see it as there's no more hope, and they've just taken a hiatus out of life. And these are the people who are not on mission, because being on mission means to continue to show up, share the abundance that lies within you, in your life, and that's possible for the future, the hope for the future. And that's what's going to lead to true happiness. Surrounding ourselves with people as well. Yeah, for some people, there's a lack of participation, or maybe like the people who are in isolation are experiencing like this emptiness, this nothingness. Like there's nothing left to live for. And that's what I mentioned last Spiritual Talk. But there's always something left to live for. Don't get lazy with your healing journey. Because yes, it can feel dark sometimes. Facing the shadows, that's what the dark night of the soul is about. But that's where my You Tell Me So coaching program comes in, to help you transition from that old life, old self into this new you. It's a wonderful experience, and you're going to feel better than ever. More enlightened, more awakened, more energetic and vitality than ever. Yeah, this is this transformation that needs to happen now. Set your intentions as to what you want to transform. And let this year be your rebirth, so that the next year can be your ultimate metamorphosis, so that you're ready to conquer the following year, 2024. Remember, this is not an overnight thing. Great things take time, even a year process. And this is a year-long project that we're all being asked to embark on. So don't get impatient, and just work slowly and steadily with patience. That's the way you will eventually experience a breakthrough. So keep having faith in this. This is the 11th card as well. Making all your wishes come true finally. Beautiful message. This is karmic. This is destiny. The number 13 card. There's nothing getting in the way of this anymore. So let go of your own fears that are standing in the way, your own illusions of this peace and harmonious balance of your yin and yang as well, that you can reach by embarking on this transformational journey. Beautiful message for today. And I want to do a healing card. A heal yourself card. How can the collective heal themselves during these times? What message do you have about healing? And right away, the sexual arts in reverse. Remember, sexual energy can be transmuted into creative energy. Needing to be more creative, and this will naturally bring in more sensuality and even romance. A true sacred sexual union, not just any sexual union, but sacred. And this is what we are to strive for. Remember that this begins at a spiritual level, and also, like I said, telepathic, but also how we can all reignite this passion for life, for what we love to do, and for our partner. And this is only going to be achieved through alignment of body, mind, and spirit, spiritual alignment. Beautiful message. Right, so now let me bring up this other one to get some confirmations about this energy today. Perfect card, the awakening card. And this is very much appropriate because a lot of other reawakening, like I said last video, but this is about climbing that mountain of success as well that we see in the near future up there ahead of us. We're on the track, we're on the path, but now it's just about doing whatever it takes to get to the top, which is climbing day by day and not quitting amidst, because you'll slide right off and then have to start over, right? So this is about consistency, discipline, and focus. Focus on your aim and your target, which is the peak of that mountain, God's mountain. And you know, I'm feeling, watch my fashion shows, red carpet events every month, because I talk about the spiritual journey, the themes that are coming up for every phase that we're in every month. And we're closer than we think. But it's not about getting your guard down, right? It's not about thinking that you're almost there and slacking off. No, on the contrary, that's when you need to give it your all and even give it more. So a wonderful message for that. And look, we are in spring, so this is like the peak of the blossoming that we're all experiencing. I feel like by summer it's going to be a completely different energy, and that's good news because this is intense right now. This is a lot of hard work being needed to play, because that's the hardest part of a flower blossoming. It's about getting there first to blossom at its fullest, and then kind of maintaining that throughout the summer. It's a little more easier, right? And of course, fall time is when the leaves start to fall. It's about going back to sleep, going back, hibernation, you can say. We're just giving it a rest. So I'm feeling like by summer, things are going to ease up. It's going to be more lighthearted energy, more fun. But right now is where the real work is needing to be put. So don't lose your focus. Let's get a spirit animal to help us with this energy. What spirit animals can we work with? Because I'm feeling like we need to really conquer our fears and build up a lot of courage. And we have the Road Runner. So interesting, because this is about agility, fastness, quickness, building conditioning, right? But it's also about acceptance of your new reality. This is the key to integrating the changes that you have made. How appropriate is this message? Accept the work that needs to be put in, and then that's it. Once you accept it, there's going to be no resistance towards it, right? There's going to be no doubting and questioning as well, and you save yourself a lot of time. Yeah, we have the hawk at the bottom, soaring high. This is the ultimate success that eventually we will reach. But you need to select one of the choices, not be unfocused, but be laser focused, so that you can give it your passionate attention, all of your all. If you're too focused on too many things, what are the chances that they're all going to come out with quality, right? So make your decision as to what's your priority during the springtime. Honeybee we got, which is the hard worker, putting in the hard work so that you can deserve the reward. Paying your dues per se. I've been getting that message. Pay your dues and earn it. Let's get some angels and ancestors to go a little bit into the past, and then we'll get into our healing session, our Sambo healing session. Okay, we have 3 cards here. 4 cards. And the Mountains card. Okay, so this is what I'm getting. This is a moment, again, like we're saying, to enjoy the growth that's taking place, the building, and reap the rewards. We will reap the rewards after. Wait for important information, or listen, get into your rituals, and listen closely as to your guides, your ancestral guides, your angels, God himself guiding you how to be this light in the world. You are the great teacher, but we also learn from spiritual experiences. And maybe this is the time to also be a teacher to others, especially if you're very much in the light and you know a lot. So don't be afraid to share what you know. We have the Medicine Mother. Honor your inner knowing. Honor and be proud that God has chosen you to be able to transmit this kind of information, which is of the light, is divine. And again, this is the Mountains and the Arrow. I'm getting double messages for the Arrow. This is about having that target, but it's also about surrounding yourself with protective energy, as always, shielding yourself with the mountains as we stand our ground as we're climbing that mountain. Beautiful message. And even as a collective, all of us ascending, new earth coming about. This is the time of the rise. And during this time, we need to all be focused. It's not just like, you don't want to be left behind, basically. And then finally, for the Akashic Tarot, let's get some ancient knowledge here about what some past life issues, as a general, that's coming up and resurfacing for many people, or that needs to be taken a look at. The King of Scrolls, and I'm seeing, wow, this is about, kind of reminds me of my School of Light. This is a lot of ancient wisdom and knowledge that's being transmitted to us through writing, through channeling, through speeches. And this is the King of Scrolls, right? This is the chosen one speaking, which is there's many light workers around the world, but that's only because they're in silence, transmitting this information in the Akashic Library. And this is a partnership 222 with the angels, God, our ancestors. Atsum, this is, see, the angel speaking to this woman in her ear as she's reading and opening up this book of knowledge. And that's a beautiful message. That's like our guidance right now. My School of Light and how to teach you about the journey. There's so many different courses that all come into one big story. And you're gonna get all of it. And that's what you need to know, because there's a lot of lessons in the past that we can apply into the future. And actually, I just noticed that there's like little fairies up here as well. Fairies are the healers. And I'm feeling like this is a moment that we are to heal as well. And it's also very interesting that I noticed, okay, first of all, this angel is wearing like a crown of roses, which that's actually what I wore in my May fashion show, which will be posted soon. Or if it is posted already, make sure you watch it. It's called The Garden of Eden. And this King of Scrolls is in the garden right now. But guess what? There's a fence. There's a little bit of a sense of prison as well, in which this is like a protective shield. I'm feeling like there are a lot of light workers who have been secluded from the world, and it can feel kind of like an excommunication, right? And this is the isolation that's happened worldwide. But I'm feeling like for the light workers that I'm talking to specifically, this even happened like even before this situation. And the reason is because this is the only way that you can get accurate knowledge is in sanctuary and shielded from chaos from without. And of course, once you're strong enough, you can step back out, coming in and out back into your sanctuary to recharge, and then stepping back out in the world. But this is as well the illusion of that fence, because at the end of the day, even though there is a fence here, there's nobody in this pasture. It's completely empty. It's like the heaven on earth. This kind of looks like the Garden of Eden, that it's beyond him. And yet this man is not stepping outside. He's crossing his arms, closing his heart, not trusting, living in fear. And this is what we all need to let go of as well, collectively, obviously. Let go of fear and explore. the Queen of Forces. We are more than safe and protected. Recognize the power that lies within you. You are untouchable. Because guess what? You are protected by God. And you have something different that not everybody else has. The light workers that I'm speaking to, who've been showing up strong and wholeheartedly devoted to this mission. The dichotomy of the light and the dark, the day and the night. The sun and the moon, the yin and the yang, the part of us. Archangel Gabriel working with us behind the scenes to help us to reach this balance, this alignment that needs to take place now. Also helping us with our creative work, which is our mission, right? Our mission is creative work. And this is also kind of like the Judgment Day card that I'm seeing, because in the traditional tarot, the Judgment card is actually Archangel Gabriel at the top, blowing his horn. There's justice that will be experienced. So there's nothing to worry about. This is all taking place at a spiritual level. So now it's just about patience, letting go of the reins of control and letting God and his angels, which are his messengers, his workers, take care of it. Things that are beyond our control. This is something out of our control. Forces outside of our control. So just lay back, watch that movie that we're all experiencing, and continue to live your best life in harmony, in peace, and in happiness. This is the message for this new one in Taurus. Seek your happiness. Because if not, I promise you that there's going to be a missing hole in your life. And you're going to regret that you didn't go after your happiness. And that's the worst thing that someone can live with regret. So don't be one of those people and go after what you love. And just go for it. There's nothing standing in the way, no excuses. Again, my name is Christy Ramirez and I'm your health and wellness expert. We're going to begin with our Sun healing session, so make sure to watch the next video. And I'll see you all for the next full moon this month. Namaste. Make sure that you become a member of my subscription programs, my holistic nutrition series, my meditation series, and my yoga series, as well as the forum for extra articles and blogs that I write on a monthly basis. It's going to help you so much on your soul journey. If you want access to the weekly health guidance, become a member of my Spiritual Counseling TV network as part of my Soul Coaching brand, plus other more exclusive content. Your weekly health guidance is a video of no more than 10 minutes where I give you guidance as to what is needed to be put into focus to achieve our ultimate health and wellness in this lifetime, right now, right here. So I hope to see you all there. Go to christyramirez.com/health and wellness for more details and information. Namaste.